Nana boo boo, you're watching us. What's wrong with you?
Yes.
That's my clever way of saying thank you for liking, subscribing, and like, subscribe, and following. This is True Really News. I knew there were three, and I had protest in my head for some reason. Thank you, Lori. Appreciate that. Sure, Lori's name I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
My granddaughters, I number them now because it's just easier. And I don't always get that right. Anyway, if you would, share us with your friends. Like, subscribe, follow, have them do that, and we'll just be honky.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
You'll be honky. I'll be Dory.
Okay, fine.
There's a movie about me. They find me in the water.
Do they? Oh, good. Yet I'm just
Finding Dory?
Honky. Finding Lori. Finding Story.
Nora.
Finding Toy Story.
Starts with a D.
Finding Dory.
Well, the first was Finding Nemo.
Okay.
And then why you would be looking for the Nautilus submarine captain, I have no idea. Look in the Nautilus.
And it was Funding Lori.
And then there was a Dory. Finding Dory. Wasn't that the Helen?
I have no idea.
The Ellen character?
I haven't gotten past, where is Waldo?
He's the guy in the striped shirt.
Right.
Okay.
A group of friends at a stag party were stranded in it. Stranded?
There used to be a company like that sold gasoline. Stranded Oil. Standard operating procedure.
I even amuse myself. A group of friends at a stag party were stranded.
So if you were a cow, would you be branded?
Yes, you would.
Huh?
In Amsterdam, stuck there. In Amsterdam, of all places, after their flight home was canceled.
There's stuff to do in Amsterdam.
Tons. The young Brits enjoyed 2 days.
Some of it legal.
In the Dutch capital, and were all of it legal, for Pete's sake.
Well, in
Amsterdam. The young Brits enjoyed 2 days in the Dutch capital and were booked onto an EasyJet flight for the return to London. Now, EasyJet has showed up in a couple of stories here causing some trouble because they've been canceling flights. Options to return to Britain by air or rail were limited, so the 14-strong party decided the best route was to take a train to Calais and board a ferry. However, when they called to inquire about the crossing to Dover, they were told foot passengers were not allowed.
Wait a minute. So you can't walk you have to drive onto the ferry.
Somehow you have to have wheels.
So all those shows I've seen from the BBC and other places in Europe are wrong. Or maybe it's only Calais.
Maybe it's just, who knows? I have no idea. Well, the French are weird about people going and especially arriving by boat.
Okay, say that sentence again.
Too.
The
French are weird about.
Stop. Try one more.
Okay. Anyway, what the group decided to do was spend the afternoon buying bicycles from the locals.
Are there French in St. Paul? Is that why there's a frog town?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God. From locals.
We're about to be canceled. You know that, right?
They were I don't care. It's the French canceling us and nobody gives a rip. They were visiting shops and looking on Facebook and they found bikes. It took about 3 hours, cost $1,300.
All right.
I'm sorry, 1,300 pounds. All 14 arrived safely in Dover just 12 hours after their flight had been canceled.
So they couldn't walk on, but they could ride a bike on.
Yeah, but it was 200 some miles overall, the whole trip.
Yeah.
Groom-to-be Alex Sisson, 29, said, "We had the craziest day, but we just wanted to get home." So they went from Amsterdam to Calais. At the time, it didn't feel like fun, but I had 2 of the best days of my life with 13 best friends, and this just topped it off. Looking back, the experience was so stressful and like something from a movie or a Top Gear challenge. And that does sound like a Top Gear challenge. It really
or a James Bond plot. Either one.
We're going to reduce people to driving from Amsterdam to Calais to bicycles. But it was so much fun. Blofeld. It was so much fun and a brilliant story that I will be telling at the wedding and hopefully to my kids and their kids.
Their kids' kid. This story could become legend.
Antoine?
By the way, who is going to be the new James Bond? Because I'm about ready for a 007 movie. Are they going to have 007 and a new James Bond?
I don't know.
Or are they going to make the chick into James Bond and just have her change her name?
I don't know. Maybe the movie's changed to 007 and that way they can rotate characters.
Because at the end of the Die movie.
Yeah, I'm just watching that now.
Okay. He dies at the end.
What, duh.
It says, because I always wait for the very end, right? Because it always says James Bond will return.
Yes.
Like sometimes it says like James Bond will return in Quantum of Solace, which is still one of the great all-time names of a movie. So they said James Bond will return. I'm just wondering, have we picked one? And why didn't you pick Idris Elba before? Because now he's getting a little old and a little
Idris Elba. I want Idris Elba so badly.
No, he's a little old now.
Well,
so now I'm thinking the guy from the weird spy movie, The Kingsman.
Fiennes? Ralph Fiennes? Oh, you mean the kid?
The kid.
Oh, that kid.
We go back to the young James Bond thing.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that.
You could pick Fiennes and do really old, but there's a Fiennes that's already M, so that wouldn't work. You know how brothers are when they get on set. 34-year-old Brazilian defender Marcelo, or is it Marcelo?
Margello.
Let's just call him Mark.
Okay.
Was dismissed from the Lion squad of the League One Uber Eats French Football League last League One Uber Eats.
The Uber Eats.
And why do they spell league with an I?
Uber Eats dribbles down the side.
Is it the Lagoo one?
Uber Eats shoots. Uber Eats scores.
Uber Eats is puking on the sidelines. This isn't good. And besides, if you read it wrong, it could be Uber Eats French Football League.
Yes, you could.
After reportedly laughing.
Uber Eats feeling a tad peckish.
I hate you. Uber Eats French Football. He was dismissed from the team after laughing during the captain Leo Dubois speech following the team's losing match against Angers, or is it Angers?
I wouldn't know. I'm not that bright.
That's true. ESPN reported there was more to the explosive story, though, because, you know, ESPN will dig in there. They're really over enthusiastic. I can't watch them. They make me tired.
Yeah.
ESPN reported there was more. Markey, or would it be Marcello, who was considered one of the leaders of the team, apparently had an ongoing issue with passing gas and laughing inappropriately in the locker room among his teammates.
How is that inappropriate?
Well, either. I mean, come on. It's the guy's locker room.
Yeah, right.
He had signed a contract with Leon before they got that one right. Before the start of the season. Why do they spell like lion if it's Leon? I don't.
Just read your darn story.
What story? Oh, yeah. Contract with Leon before the start of the season, but was terminated in January, and he signed on with Bordeaux. Wow. Signs on with Bordeaux and Uber Eats. There's romantic little picnic going here. Bordeaux is having a stinky season all its own. They are now at the bottom of Ligui 1 and 7 points from safety. Does that mean if they're that low, they get like not reassigned, but you end up moving to a league that sucks even worse than the one you're in?
Yeah, the Cub Scout team. Or Cub Scout League.
And then pretty soon you just have to play like rec ball.
Exactly. A new coffee joint in Tokyo aimed at
What happens if you're like last in rec ball? Just please try something else. Good heavens.
You guys, you're going to be you're going to play water polo. I actually knew a guy
who's there like a T-ball version of soccer.
I knew a guy who actually had a scholarship to college to play water polo.
Yep.
That's just weird in my head.
Whenever I watch water polo, I'm like, that is the dumbest thing. And how do they do it? Because I'm tired watching them.
And you just keep watching.
I do.
Right? Yeah. So do I. It's amazing. It helped that his arms were 6 miles long. I think that was it.
Yep.
New coffee joint in Tokyo aimed at making customers as productive as possible has adopted a very unique system. Customers at the Manuscript Writing Cafe are asked to set a goal when they start working. And if they fail to accomplish it before they leave,
they get demoted a league.
They pay a $22 fine.
I'd rather get demoted a league.
Maybe it's the atmosphere. Maybe because I'm paying, but I sit down and immediately start typing. Joe Sasanama, an attorney who is writing a legal book, told the Wall Street Journal, is $22 enough for you not to slack off?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Me either.
Nope.
Sorry.
Remember James Cromwell, the actor? He's been in a ton of things.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I remember him most being a dying bishop in an episode of ER. I do.
Okay.
He's asking what's this mean? What is the meaning of all of this? And the little prostitute they have that comes in and talks to him, she says, all the blather you normally hear from people, right?
Yeah.
And he just jumps down her throat. Blah, all the platitude, blah, blah, blah. It was spectacularly well done.
Okay.
And now I find out he's a nutball. 82-year-old James Cromwell, most recent role was in Succession, glued his palm to a Midtown Manhattan Starbucks store counter to protest the extra charge the coffee company assesses for plant-based milk in their drinks. Have you seen this? They've been doing this all over for the Timberwolves because of Glenn Taylor, for some reason, trying to glue themselves to an NBA court. And no one ever notices. It's embarrassing.
You'd have to get some people there.
He later used it. Well, there were people there, just no one noticed. The only time they noticed is when somebody was sitting next to him and tried to come around in front of him because he's got courtside seats.
Yeah.
And the guy on security.
Yeah.
When you watch the video, he's got him spotted from like minutes before.
Oh, okay.
So he takes one step on the court and it's bang, looking for handcuffs. He later used a knife to scrape his hand off the counter, which is a sentence I never thought I would have to hear, except at a couple of places I've been to eat when I was younger. The Associated Press reported that Cromwell, who starred in Babe, Pig in the City, that's not one you want to mention, is a longtime animal rights protester. For its part, Starbucks seemed nonplussed by the whole protest, which was organized by People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
Oh, I mentioned them in another story somewhere down the line.
Yeah. I prefer to think of them as people eating tasty animals.
Me too.
I don't have anything against vegetables. I just like to pass them through the animal first. PETA characterized the non-dairy milk customizations as Starbucks, sorry.
Yep.
Characterized the non-dairy milk customizations as similar to any other, such as an additional espresso shot or syrup.
Sure. Why not?
What special brand of crazy did it have to be to super glue your hand? Well, maybe he just used Elmer's. So do they still make Elmer's?
Yeah, they still do, but
it wasn't Gorilla Glue. I'm telling you.
You can just use acetone. Because meantime, he's leaving part of his flesh on the table. What an idiot.
Which, by the way, is what makes it all worthwhile in my head.
This is true, really news. Send email to titr@netradio.network.